We do it every single day. It's a habit so common we barely even notice it. When you stop and think about it, it's one of the weirdest things a human can do. It can hijack your breathing, make your abs sore, twist your face into a strange mask, and even make you cry. But have you ever wondered really what laughter is? Why do we do this bizarre, convulsive thing at all? This isn't just some simple reflex. It's a complex, ancient, and seriously powerful signal that has shaped human society for millions of years. It's a hidden language that we all speak, a survival tool that's been hiding in plain sight. You might think you laugh because something's funny, but the science tells us a much deeper and more surprising story. We're about to uncover the secret evolutionary purpose behind every chuckle, giggle, and full-on belly laugh. Why do we do it? Do animals do it? Is laughter the best medicine? Let's check that. The biggest mystery about laughter doesn't start with a joke. It starts with a number, 30. According to a ton of research, you are 30 times more likely to laugh when you're with other people than when you're by yourself. Let that sink in. 30 times. If laughing was just about reacting to something funny, you'd laugh just as much reading a book or watching a movie alone. But we don't. Laughter, it turns out, isn't really about jokes. It's about us. This is the great laughter paradox. We think of it as the punctuation at the end of a good punchline. But its real job is way more important. Laughter is a social sound. It's a primitive, nonverbal signal we send to the people around us. Think of it less as a reaction and more as an invitation, a declaration, and a way to connect that's older than language itself. So if the main trigger for laughter isn't a joke, but another person, what is this strange thing actually for? To find the answer, we have to look back, way back. The story of laughter doesn't begin in a comedy club. It begins in the world of our ape ancestors. Modern great apes, chimpanzees, bonobos, gorillas, etc., all have their own version of laughter. Our evolutionary lineage is split around 14 to 18 million years ago, and somewhere in that ancient past, the roots of our laughter took hold. When apes play, wrestling or tickling each other, they make a breathy, panting sound. It's not quite our ha-ha, but its job is identical. It's a signal that says, hey, this is for fun. I'm not actually attacking you. We're cool. This play vocalization is the ancient foundation of all human laughter. It was their way of turning a potentially aggressive moment into a chance to bond. As early humans evolved, our social groups got bigger and more complicated. The one-on-one grooming that held primate groups together just wasn't efficient enough to keep a tribe of 100 or more feeling connected. We needed a new kind of social glue, something that could send a message of trust and friendship to a bunch of people at once. Laughter was the perfect upgrade. It evolved from that breathy panting into a loud, explosive sound we make today, capable of spreading a feeling of safety and connection through a whole group in an instant. Philosopher John Morial had a great theory for how this might have happened. He suggested that the first uniquely human laugh might have been a shared signal of relief after danger passed. Imagine a small group of our ancestors hiding from a predator. The beast finally leaves and the threat is gone, and in that shared wave of relief, one person starts to laugh. The sound spreads, a contagious signal that we made it, we're safe together. This sort of all-clear signal suggests laughter became a way to collectively turn off the fight-or-flight response. This behavior is so deep in our biology that it seems to be completely innate, not learned. It's hardwired into our genes. Babies start laughing around 3 or 4 months old, long before they can talk. And amazingly, even babies who are born deaf and blind laugh. They couldn't have learned it by hearing or seeing anyone else do it. This tells us that laughter is a fundamental piece of who we are. Further proof of this genetic basis comes from broad studies on twins, including identical twins raised in different families. Researchers have found remarkable similarities in their laughter patterns and what they find funny, demonstrating that our tendency to laugh and even the way we do it is shaped by our DNA. So, We know laughter is an ancient social tool, but what's going on in your head when you burst out laughing? It's a stunningly fast and complex chain reaction with different parts of your brain working together in perfect sync. It all starts with a trigger. A witty comment, a silly face, a tickle. Almost instantly, a wave of electricity zips across the surface of your brain. First, your brain's left side, the logical part, gets to work analyzing the words and structure of a joke. But then the punchline, the twist, activates a totally different area. Your brain's frontal lobe, which handles social and emotional context. It lights up. This is a part of your brain that gets the joke. It spots the absurdity, the surprise shift from what you expect to happen. Once the frontal lobe gives the thumbs up, the signal travels to the limbic system, the ancient emotional core of your brain. This network is your brain's emotion regulating center, and it releases a cocktail of feel-good neurochemicals. This is the moment you actually feel the humor. But feeling it isn't enough. Your brain needs your body to act. And that's when the motor cortex takes over. This region sends out a flurry of commands. It tells 15 facial muscles to contract into a smile. It instructs your voice box to partially close, forcing air out of your lungs in these short, sharp bursts we hear as ha ha ha. It even activates muscles in your arms, legs, and torso, which is why a really good laugh can make you feel weak or even double over. What's really wild is the difference between a real and a fake laugh. Spontaneous, genuine laughter comes from the deep, primitive, emotional part of the brain. It's an involuntary reflex. A fake or polite laugh, however, ha ha ha, is controlled by a completely different pathway connected to your brain's speech center. It's a voluntary action, like choosing to say a word. Your brain is so good at telling the difference that we can spot a fake laugh a mile away. The sound is different, the timing is off, and it doesn't involve the involuntary muscle contractions around the eyes that signal true joy. Ha ha ha. We know laughter is social and hardwired into our brains, but that still leaves a huge question. What is this thing we call humor? Philosophers and psychologists have been trying to pin it down for centuries, and they've given us three main theories, the three pillars that explain why we laugh at everything from a clever pun to a cartoon coyote falling off a cliff. First up is the incongruity theory, which is the most popular one today. This theory says that humor comes from seeing something unexpected, illogical, or out of place. It's the mental jolt we get when our expectations are playfully smashed. Let's look at this example.
Hello, West Virginia. It's absolutely fantastic to be here tonight. I love being in a place where people really appreciate intelligence. I've been trying out a set of jokes about unemployed people recently, but don't worry, I won't be doing any of those tonight, because none of them work.
All right, I know that was terrible. Let's move on to the second pillar. This is the oldest one, going all the way back to Plato and Aristotle. It's called the superiority theory. The idea suggests we laugh at the mistakes, misfortunes, or cluelessness of others because it gives us a quick flash of feeling superior. When you see someone trip on the sidewalk and they're okay, a little laugh that escapes is, according to this theory, a reflex of relief that it wasn't you. This is the foundation of slapstick, teasing, roasting. It might sound a little mean, but it's a deep-seated way of reinforcing social norms by laughing at things that deviate from them. It's the guilty pleasure we get from someone else's minor misfortune. And the third and final pillar is the relief theory, made famous by Sigmund Freud. This theory sees laughter as a safety valve for releasing pent-up nervous energy or tension. Picture yourself watching a scary movie. The suspense is killing you, and your muscles are clenched. Then the big jump scare turns out to be just a little cat. The nervous laughter that bursts out is a physical release of all that built-up stress. Freud thought humor was a way to vent forbidden thoughts and anxieties in a safe way. This connects perfectly back to that evolutionary idea of laughing in relief after danger has passed. It explains why we laugh in awkward situations, after a near miss, or when talking about taboo topics. In reality, These three theories aren't rivals. They often work together. A guy slipping on a banana peel is a sudden misfortune. Superiority. It's unexpected. Incongruity. And it breaks a moment of normal everyday tension. Relief. Together, they give us a pretty solid map for understanding what makes us laugh. The impulse to laugh is ancient, but the art of making people laugh on purpose, what we call comedy, is a cultural invention. Its history shows we've taken a primitive instinct and turned it into a sophisticated art form that changes with the times. The earliest comedy wasn't jokes, it was physical. Picture our prehistoric ancestors doing the same kind of playful wrestling and tickling we see in apes. Those grunts and pants were the world's first comedic performances. Simple signals to strengthen social bonds and show that the play fighting was all in good fun. Fast forward to ancient Greece around the 5th century BCE, where we find the first formal comedies. Playwrights like Aristophanes put on rowdy, satirical plays that openly mocked powerful politicians. In ancient Rome, comedy evolved to focus on stock characters, the broke friend, the clever servant, the silly old man, and tangled plots that you can still see traces of in today's sitcoms. During the Middle Ages and the Renaissance, court jesters became the first professional comics, using slapstick and insults to entertain kings and queens. As official fools, they had a unique license to criticize the powerful in a way no one else dared. At the same time, writers like Shakespeare elevated comedy into a high art, focusing on witty wordplay and lighthearted romance. The 20th century with film and TV changed the game completely. Silent film stars like Charlie Chaplin became global icons with physical comedy that didn't need words. When sound came along, TV sitcoms like I Love Lucy then brought the comedy right into your living room, and stand-up comedy was born, and performers like George Carlin used it to comment on society, politics, religion. Today, we're in a new era of comedy, led by masterful storytellers like Sebastian Maniscalco, Ali Wong, and John Mulaney, just to name a few. Modern stand-up has become an art of precision, using a deep understanding of humor psychology. Comedians expertly build and release tension. They create surprising connections and often use self-depreciation, a modern twist where the comedian lets the audience feel superior to their past self. In a world that can feel isolating, modern comedy uses personal stories of failure and embarrassment to create a powerful sense of connection, proving that even in our worst moments, we're not alone. That old saying, laughter is the best medicine, might sound like a cliche, but it turns out it's shockingly true. A good, hearty laugh is like a powerful, all-natural prescription for huge benefits for the mind and body. You're literally changing your own chemistry for the better. First, laughing triggers an immediate release of feel-good neurochemicals. The most famous are endorphins, the body's natural painkillers. One amazing study found that just a few minutes of genuine laughter can significantly increase a person's pain tolerance. That endorphin rush is what gives you that lightheaded, euphoric feeling after an uncontrollable laugh. At the same time, your brain releases dopamine, which boosts your mood, and oxytocin, the bonding hormone which helps you feel trust and connection. And while your brain is getting a flood of good stuff, it's also shutting down the bad stuff. Laughter dramatically lowers levels of cortisol, the body's main stress hormone. High cortisol levels can wreck your body, weakening your immune system and harming your memory. By cutting cortisol, laughter acts as a direct antidote to stress, relaxing your muscles and lowering your blood pressure. In fact, studies show that even just anticipating a funny event can make your cortisol levels drop. The physical act of laughing is also a mini workout. It boosts your oxygen intake, stimulates your heart and lungs, and even burns a few calories. It's like internal jogging. In the long run, these benefits really add up, leading to a stronger immune system, a healthier heart, and better emotional stability. Doctors are now taking this seriously. Laughter therapy and laughter yoga are used in hospitals and wellness centers to help patients manage everything from depression to chronic pain. This is powerful proof that laughter isn't just a silly distraction. It's a fundamental part of our health and a vital tool for getting through life's challenges. So what have we learned? Well, we've gone from ancient play grunts of apes to the complex neuroscience of a punchline, and it's clear this weird behavior we call laughter is one of the most important things we do. It's our oldest social network, our built-in stress relief system, and a universal language of connection. So here's a little experiment for you for the next week. Be a laughter scientist. Pay attention to every time you laugh. Was it from a joke or during a conversation? Were you alone or with other people? Let me know in the comments what you find out. You might be shocked at how social your laughter really is. Well, we've survived another deep dive, and my brain feels like it's been put through the blender on puree setting. But hey, anything for the internet, right? And I've been told by the digital overlords that if I don't remind you to engage with this video, I get downgraded to the resolution of a 2006 flip phone, and nobody wants me in 144p. So, to appease the machine, that's all for this episode of Let's Check That. If you enjoyed this video or maybe even learned something today, please subscribe. It really helps the channel grow. I'm Will, and until next time, remember, curiosity is good. Verification is better.